First is the upper looper thread, which is shown in blue. You need to take the thread up from the spool and lay it from back to front into the guide. Take the thread with both hands and lay it in the groove. Press the thread down into the first guide on the machine until it clicks into place. If this comes undone while you're overlocking, the overlocker will unthread. Now thread the guides with the blue markings from 4 to 8. When threading number 7, always thread from back to front. The last one, number 8, make sure you thread it by using the tweezers, holding the thread close to its end. Continue to thread the overlocker in order. So that means the next one is the lower looper thread, which is the red markings. Then it's the right hand needle with the green markings, and lastly the left hand needle with the yellow markings. You can follow the diagram which is printed on the overlocker, or you can have a look at the instruction booklet. Just a few tips to finish off. A common fault when threading up the lower looper thread, which is the red markings, is that sometimes this thread here is placed underneath this bar. That is incorrect. The thread should lay on top of the bar, and then when threading this guide here, you thread it from back to front, like that. Another tip is that when you're threading up, it's always a good idea to use the tweezers as well as your hands. You also can see that the upper knife has been moved into an upward position. When this is out of the way, it makes threading up easier. When threading up the needle, it is easier when the presser foot is lowered. Once threaded from the front to back, lift up the presser foot, which disengages the tension. As each thread is threaded, it must be passed under the presser foot and pulled to the back. So I'll lift up the presser foot, and with my tweezers I will pass the thread underneath the presser foot and pull it to the back. Now this overlocker has been threaded up for 3 threads. You need to put back the knife, close up the cover plate and lower the presser foot. You can then hand wheel towards you to start the chain of overlocking. Turn on the machine, and now you can run your chain. The last thing to do here is to remove the left hand needle, as in this case a 3 thread is only required. If you leave that extra needle in, you will find that your overlocking stitch will be faulty. Changing threads is a very simple process. All you need to do is cut all the threads about here. Now remove the unwanted spools of thread, and now replace the threads by putting the spools with the most thread on the upper and lower looper, which are these two, as they take up the most thread. After passing the new thread into the guides at the top of the thread stand, tie the new thread to the existing thread. Now you can either run the machine or pull the threads through the machine until the knot appears at the top of the needle. This will require cutting and re-threading. The other knots will just run through the machine without breaking or getting caught. Here you can see the knot at the top of the needle. Remember, it must be cut and re-threaded. Removing or replacing a needle can be done by using the screwdriver and the end of the small cleaning brush. There is a hole in the end of the brush where the needle goes through. This makes this tedious operation easier. During sewing, dust and fluff collect in and on the machine. This should be removed regularly. Also, the overlock machine requires oiling now and then. The diagram shows you the 2 points in which you need to oil the machine, which is here and here.